Hello.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Technology Theorist. This is episode 17. This is whatever part this is. Because I always forget that I'm not going to mention parts, but this is one of the parts we're doing. On this week's episode, we finally have Nick back.
Hey!
For some reason, the microphone isn't facing him, so you're probably not going to get picked out.
That's cool.
And we're just going to quickly adjust that. Let's just move that right over.
We'll just turn it as well.
Pinky and the brain. Speak.
Hello.
Yeah?
Yeah, looks good.
Okay, so on this week's episode, I haven't planned anything. I have no details, no nothing. Hopefully, Jason has a couple.
I've got about 3.
That's fine. We can do that while I do that.
We'll stretch that out.
But on the last episode, we barely spoke about Nintendo because our knowledge is quite lacking. I have built it up a bit, so I can now talk about it. But Nick, you're kind of, in terms of game-wise, you
are the Nintendo master out of us.
Maybe.
Maybe try. Maybe not Nintendo, the Zelda.
So let's do a new thing prediction thing, because I had another one I wanted to talk about.
Oh yeah.
That I want to bring up. So let's kick off with that. Nintendo, what do you think they're going to be doing at
E3?
In the next couple of days? Soon, isn't it?
Yeah.
10 days?
12.
9 days? Oh,
12,
Microsoft is in
So
10.
Sunday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Sure, it's
Yeah,
Sunday, Sunday, Monday,
Was it
Tuesday.
Friday, Saturday,
The-
Sunday?
the
Sunday?
times-
I'm sure it's Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Saturday? No, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Microsoft have got a countdown on my Instagram saying it's like 10 days until their thing.
Oh.
Mm.
So maybe.
Fuck, no good context.
Not a clue.
What do you think they're going to do? I'm really sorry I'm eating food.
You're eating food.
But I'm the host, I can do whatever I want.
Obviously, Zelda is not being shown
Mm.
because they've already said they're not showing Zelda.
Yeah.
They've also said they're not going to be showing or saying anything about the NX.
Oh yeah.
What is the NX?
It's the next gen system.
Yeah.
Basically, they announced that they are still doing another games console
Yeah.
because they were like, right, we're now going into mobile gaming. And they were then like, but just to let you all know that we are still console orientated.
Yeah.
We
They
are-
are fully committing to mobile. They're still going to do multi-platforms, aren't they?
Yeah, they're
a
talking
bit of a
about
double.
doing PC, mobile,
Yeah.
and then whatever Nintendo consoles around at the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So I reckon there'll be HD version of Super Mario Sunshine, maybe,
Okay.
just because they've done a re-release on the Wii U of Galaxy 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're not going to do a HD remake of that just because they've just re-released it, so there's no point. Everyone's been crying for a HD Sunshine just because the side-scrolling 2D platformer, like Mario games, while they're popular, more people dig the 3D style Nintendo 64.
Behind.
Yeah.
Over the shoulder.
Third
film.
person, yeah.
Third person over the shoulder. So.
So people reckon that there's going to be that. Obviously, Star Fox
Yeah.
is coming out this year. Other than that, I really don't know.
Do you think they're going to release Amiibos with the Star Fox thing?
There's
Yeah.
already Fox McCloud.
I mean, with all the rest of the characters. I mean. Also, do you have any Amiibos?
I do.
What ones do you have?
I've got Greninja, Lucario, Zelda.
I've got
Link.
Zelda. I saw one. I got it for £5 from CEX because I didn't know what they had.
Zelda.
You
can't
got
get
a gift from me.
anywhere.
Yeah,
You got a gift from your missus as well, didn't you?
What's
One
that?
of those Squeebo things?
Yeah, she found one for me. But she's managed to get her hands on a Little Mac for dead cheap too, because somebody didn't know what they had. Because you can't get them in the States at all.
Yeah.
The thing about Amiibos is people are like, oh, I'm going to collect them all because they're all super rare. I'm like, I only want the ones that I want because
Yeah.
I want them.
So I do it because they're going to be super rare. So I mean,
I've
I'm
got
all here, never put my address up again, going, I own everything!
And then
Well,
you
I've
wake up
got
the next day and
two
you're gone.
copies of issue 1 of Saga, which are now worth like £100.
Okay,
an
alright,
issue.
yes, we've had this discussion so many times.
So.
Fuck you in the car.
But yeah, so I've got Toon Link, I've got Ganondorf pre-ordered, got Zero Suit,
Zelda bad guy. Just
Okay.
in case
Zero Suit Samus pre-ordered.
woman in suit.
My Greninja arrived the other day.
Weird guy.
Pokemon, really rare, really expensive.
That's a Pokemon? Not one I've
A
had.
ninja. Looks like a ninja.
It's a ninja frog, and its tail is like its scarf.
Yeah.
Right.
Sounds familiar. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, because of its. When the pre-orders go up, I will be pre-ordering Rob
Oh, the robot.
and probably Game and Watch.
You know, I was reading about how remember the Nintendo watches they used to do
Yeah.
like a long, long time ago.
Yeah.
Like the little thing.
Yeah.
They are really, really, really expensive to buy now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
To buy them, if you buy them like in packaging, even out of packaging, they're just ridiculously expensive. And I remember once I was at a car boot and I saw a whole bunch. This is long before I knew any of this. Like
Yeah.
about 10 years ago. And probably at Melton Mowbray if I'm remembering correctly.
Jesus.
Didn't even think about it. £5 for the whole box. Didn't even think. I was like, fuck that shit.
Car boot's annoying
Xbox.
because it's like the amount of times I remember seeing things that are now like,
So
Yeah,
much
3
time
times
on
as much.
it.
okay, how about me going into game when Twilight Princess released,
Sure.
picking up one of the last copies of the GameCube Twilight Princess,
Yeah.
putting it down and was like, actually, I'll just buy a Wii and Twilight Princess. Only to find out now that the Wii and the Twilight Princess is worth about £15 together,
Yeah.
whereas the GameCube version of just the game is worth 50.
Ooh.
Jesus Christ, man.
I was reading about
Wii.
the full metal NES, the metal version of the NES,
Okay,
Yeah.
never heard of that.
which was like unbelievably rare. It's like maybe less than a dozen in the world.
Jesus.
And one
Christ.
guy put it up on eBay and it sold for about £25 because the guy didn't list it right. He just put NES and no description, and it comes
So
with
much
two
like
games.
a film
Someone
story.
bought it, got it, then put the story up on Reddit, going, "Look what I got for like £15 or £20 or something."
Jesus Christ.
And the thing's worth like £1,000.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's when you order it, say it's cheers to the order, mate. Goodly packaged, all this bollocks. By the way, for your information, it's worth $5,000.
You know
And
what,
watch him cry.
I want to ask about that. You know, if you do buy something from someone on eBay and they find out later or just before the shipping off, it's worth a lot more. Can they redact?
Nope.
the
No.
They've sold
They
it.
have
Everything
basically
is
sold
sold subject to
description.
they by joining eBay.
I bet the microphone's
You have-
got the ice cream there.
You have signed a contract that says anything that is sold
It's final.
is final.
Yeah.
It's got to
Okay.
be sent off. Because if they're like, oh no, sorry, I want an extra £1,000 for it, you can sue them, saying,
Yeah.
right, here's my invoice,
Yeah.
here's my receipt, here's every.
I have paid.
But it's
for the
like going
money.
into a shop
Yeah.
and going, right, I've just bought the brand new Mac, here's my receipt, but they haven't given it to me.
Here's a Mac from 1992.
Yeah.
Which is probably worth more than a new Mac. Because
Yeah.
how pricey work for old Macs.
Was that the story you said last? Was it last
oh,
week?
that,
The other
yeah,
week
that
about
1987, 1986.
Recycling.
Mac, and she chucked it into the recycling bin. Some guy found it.
It's worth
And is looking for her
£200,000.
to give her some money.
Ridiculous.
I need to vamp for a moment. No, you need to vamp for a moment. So I need to double check my other name. You know, where did my teeth thing go? I want to make sure I eat this thing.
The name you're on about, isn't it Iowata?
It may have been Iwata.
How could you know that? I don't even know what he's on about.
No.
Because we had this conversation before you
Oh,
guys.
okay, got you.
You know what? It's all relating. Not currently. Let's talk about your time in Japan. So you were in Japan.
Yeah. We've been
Yeah.
waiting to get you on it
That's
to talk
not
about
right.
this. How was it?
Not-
We've
Was
never
amazing.
been.
So how many pairs of used panties did you buy?
None,
Well,
funnily enough.
I thought that's something you got to do when you go to Japan. Just
yeah,
buy
it's
one
not part of the
pair.
visa application.
No, I did
Oh, used
find.
panty?
I will buy.
I did find in a second-hand toy shop
Oh,
a
God.
unboxed, brand spanky new Armin Allure Figma, which is worth about £100, and it cost me about 30.
Get in.
Wow.
Right, you may have to explain that to me. What the hell is that?
Armin Allure is the blonde character from Attack on Titan.
Okay,
Yeah.
I do know.
You know the one that's got the bowl haircut.
Yeah.
I think so. Can't remember off the top of my head, but I've seen some.
Which one?
Have you
The
seen
one
Attack on
with-
Titan?
Yeah, I've seen. Well, I think I watched first 7, 8. I watched the ones until up to where the main guy, who's completely crazy and kill 'em all, gets eaten.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Attack on Titan anime.
The only anime I watch is Family Guy.
That's not anime.
That's
That's
animation.
cartoon.
Doesn't matter. It's still cartoons moving around.
It's not anime
I want to
though.
watch
It's not anime.
little
Do you know what
tiny
anime-
Japanese girls with massive boobs, which is really weird. I'm 14, but my boobs are this big.
Don't! We drove through Oakham. We drove through here.
Oh God, you
Uh,
said
we-
you looked at 14-year-olds.
No,
No,
we
no,
passed 2 kids. They must have been 14. And one of them,
Please can we not get into anything like that's going to get us arrested?
but it was exactly like that, basically.
He
What you
just
just
saw
said.
when he was out the
I
window.
preached which amendment is it where I have freedom of speech? Maybe the First Amendment.
First Amendment.
First Amendment, freedom of speech.
I preached the first.
Can't stop us.
Also the fifth.
Which is
I
the
preached the one where I've got the right to bear arms.
Second.
Can I have
do
them
you
and
mean-
mount them above my door?
Yeah,
Yes.
That's the best Family Guy joke. So go on, anyway,
How
what's
could-
this about a 14-year-old girl with big boobs?
Basically, you said about that, and we drove past one.
How do you know she was 14?
She looked 14.
Oh, right.
We're not saying she was. She looked 14. She might have been 16.
I was looking at music on my phone at this point. So
You bloody word.
Yeah.
Your eyes popped out of your head.
Ah,
Can we stop? Please stop talking about perving over jailbait.
25. I'm 26, I just look young. It's like, well, still weird.
That's still very weird.
Bring your birth certificate. Okay, come on, tell me what's
Yes,
going
I
on.
was Japan. Come on.
We went on the bullet train, the Shinkansen.
It's,
Oh, yeah.
I was, again, these are all things I read on Reddit. A guy put a coin side facing up, you know, I think it was a US dime. It couldn't have been a US dime, it must have been a penny because US dimes are made correctly because Americans are always hungry and eat cheeseburgers. He put it on its side as in, you know, so it's
It
facing stood up, and it was riding along and it never fell.
You know, they're the smoothest.
Yeah.
The only thing is, it's
It's full of Japanese people.
You
No,
can't
'cause
talk.
Dirty racists.
we had
You have to
cans
be
of
quiet.
beer on the table in front, and
Yeah.
they were like not moving.
Nice.
Also, it's also true because I knew it wasn't a thing that you shouldn't use your phone in public. You can text
On public
You
transport.
can never
No,
use
you
your-
can't.
And
No,
to
you
make
can't.
calls.
You can't talk in public. They're all like, if you want to, please go into the no man's land by the doors
Yeah.
and shut the doors because it's.
Very,
But why is that? Well, I mean,
Yeah.
did you ever ask? 'Cause I would always, if I was there, I would have asked why it's such a
Yeah,
big
why
deal.
is it one
Yeah.
of those customs?
No,
It's
no.
just, I
You
think
don't
it's just
ask. You
that.
went as a tourist and you didn't ask any questions. You said,
Well,
"Oh, big Gundam, Gundam, my name's Nick."
No, there was no because like in the around Tokyo when we were using the Tokyo Metro,
Japanese chocolate, yeah.
there was just stickers saying turn your phone on. In certain sections, it was turn your phone off.
It's green.
yeah, turn your phones off. Basically.
There is cars on the trains
That's amazing.
where they're women-only cars
Really?
Women only cars.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
because guys are massive perverts and feel all
Yeah.
like the
When it's, especially on,
14-year-old girls up in their
Yeah.
school uniforms.
Yeah.
especially when it's like in the morning when it's that rush hour.
It's
Everyone's compact.
Oh, I
together.
I think
And again,
one of the cars that we went into, it was female only, rush hour in the morning, rush
Oh,
hour
yeah.
at night,
Yeah.
oh well, okay.
during the day. It
But how
was-
are they enforced? I mean, are there officers around there?
I'm guessing so.
Yeah, must be.
I'm guessing if enough women are on there, they're going to be like, get the fuck out or
That's
we'll
what-
beat you the fuck up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Japanese women on force. You're like, oh, where'd that foot come from? Put your feet on the ground.
Japanese people
Have you?
apologise for everything.
Really?
I feel
Even
I
if it's
apologise
like-
for anything at work.
Like, they will apologise to you
I walked past it.
for
Sorry.
using your time up if you've asked them a question and they don't know the answer straight away. They'll be like,
Oh, yeah.
sorry for wasting your time and stuff. It's crazy.
How much
Oh,
English,
right, yeah.
I really want to know this. How much English was spoken there?
90% of all the signs were in English. It was
Jesus
only
Christ.
in... It is, as they say, like the 51st state where everything's in English because of America.
Yeah,
But you're not like America.
I love America. It's great. If ever need to gain 300 pounds.
Land of the brave,
2
home of the
days.
free.
Yeah, free,
Yeah.
brave. Oh, look, our own allies. Let's bomb them. That's a really good idea. Aren't we brave? Let's invade some pensioner's house and shoot him in front of his wife. Osama bin Laden.
If that how they got around the diplomacy of it. He's a pensioner. He's not somewhere like it's a
I
pensioner.
don't even know why I said that.
Do you not want to timestamp this so you can get it out?
It's going to be a promotional video on YouTube.
I just ask that in this scene, can you just put those square, if you just use that scene,
Anonymous person.
square blocks over my face?
Yeah. Yours is visible.
I wish to go to America again in the future, so please don't stop me.
Why? I made a joke about an old guy getting shot. It's not like I was like, American cheeseburger gun.
American cheeseburger again. That's called McDonald's.
Like I was saying, that's well. It's about society.
Don't they just load the burgers into one of those t-shirt shooting canisters?
Why they don't do that? They give them out as soon as you graduate from college. Here you go. Here's your cheeseburger and your t-shirt gun. You fat waddly shit. I only weigh 90 pounds. Shut up, Barry.
Does your nephew listen to cousin, uncle,
My nephew.
nephew? Does
Nephew.
he listen to
I
this?
mean, he's my uncle.
I don't know about you.
I don't fucking know how families work.
He is my nephew, and he does listen, and he knows I insult him and his kind all the time. In my mind,
I love his
even though I've
kind.
been to Texas many times.
Yeah.
In my mind, I always associate Texas where everybody has big trucks,
Yeah.
everyone has a gun, and there's a
least
campfire
one.
for cowboys every 15 feet.
And
They can just
tumbleweed.
basically stop and go, place for a fire. This is great. And everyone smokes Marlboro.
Marlboro.
It's not Burr though, is it? Because
No.
Marlboro.
G-hate. Marlboro.
What's wrong with Marlboro?
Marlboro.
I'm just saying that's that's what I imagine America to be.
No.
So stereotypical.
Everybody's fat.
I hate it when I speak to someone and they're like, I do this, and I'm like, you're the most stereotypical person I've ever spoken to. Because
What do you drive? Truck.
I've got a friend that I go to college with, and he came up to me and was like, "Is there such a thing where you can be addicted to chicken?" Because if there is, I think I am. Bearing in mind, this guy's like black.
See, look, I need to ask questions like this. When people do this, people try to like they do this crazy roundabout part when it comes to describing what someone is. If they just happen to be black, you can say they're black. It's not like you're going and they're, like lights off, like
Black.
hidden, black. How is it like black? They either are or they are not.
Well, it's one of those things.
So black guy likes chicken. Is that what you're saying?
Stereotypical, really.
But he's like,
I'm going to find out who he is on your Facebook friend and send him this video specifically. And I'm going to remix it. He's like a black guy. That's what I'm going to do.
He likes chicken.
So just auto-tune the shit out of him.
literally asked me if a person can be addicted to chicken.
I don't know if you can you? I don't think it has.
Well, you can be addicted to anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just part of your brain that says, I want chicken. I want this. I want chocolate.
You want 14-year-old girls?
No.
Well, you just admitted
seriously,
it on
the
camera.
this first half is just basically bullshit. We've been talking about it non-stop.
That's what chat
That's
shit is all
fine.
about, mate.
We do chat shit.
We
right.
haven't seen
So
Nick in a while.
you were
so
asking
we can
questions.
catch it up.
Yeah. So, Nintendo president Satoru Iwata-san, because I respect that man, has basically, and he's obviously the head of Nintendo, has been since, I don't know when he's been there. He's been there for quite a while though, hasn't he? Yeah. He succeeded in 2002. Anywho, so this guy's kind of been out of the limelight the last, 14 months?
Because he's been ill.
He's been ill. But
And Japanese culture, they don't like their presidents to appear weak in front of people.
well, they're leaders.
Or their
Yeah.
leaders to appear weak. And as he's a president of a company, it'll be the same kind of...
Sure.
Yeah.
Hidden away.
So he missed last E3, and E3 is actually a very big deal because it's actually
But-
it's more of a trade, and everyone, people will disagree with me, but you're wrong because I know I'm right. It's more of a trade show than a consumer show.
No, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you can't go unless you work in the industry.
Yeah, I know, that's
Yeah.
exactly.
This is the first year that they're allowing...
they're officially allowed because remember some people have snuck in the past.
Yeah, they're officially allowing
Randos.
each company has, depending on how big the company is, a certain amount of guest passes that they can give to Joe Bloggs.
John.
Auction off or
7.
Well, not
auction
competition
off.
Give away like
Just like
competition
competition prize and stuff. So there will be average Joes in the
Yeah.
audience this time.
Awesome.
But Nintendo for the last, I want to say 5 years at least, have stepped away from E3.
Presentations, yeah. They do pre-recorded
Videos.
But they also do their Nintendo Directs
that's
during. They do Nintendo Directs during the year, and so they've been stepping away from doing big shows anyway.
So, considering that he wasn't, because he has been to E3 before. Last year he didn't go, and the reason it's a big deal is because it's when you're meeting the massive retail chains and the people who are actually pretty important to the industry. That's when you go out and meet them and you try and convince them that they want to be stocking your products and stocking your things and promoting your shit and all that kind of stuff. So it's not a good idea that the person who leads your company isn't there.
But the problem is that like you were saying that you can't get Amiibo anywhere, is because places don't sell Nintendo anymore.
Yeah.
Like you go into our Sainsbury's in Bourne, and Tesco in Bourne. When I moved to Bourne, there was a relatively big Nintendo section. They've now just completely binned it off.
You might have a one shelf.
Nothing.
No, but sometimes in like Morrison's and stuff, they just have like one shelf.
The only Nintendo thing I've seen them sell was Super Smash Brothers when that came out. And because they do have a big Disney Infinity and Skylanders section. They have the bundles for the Wii and Wii U at the bottom, just next to the Xbox One. And so they're the only Nintendo things they sell.
Jesus.
But when it's so E3 is more of a bigger deal when it comes to America. There's no point in arguing it because it's when people from Walmart and all that bullshit goes out there, Target and etc. etc. And so if this president guy doesn't show up, do you think it's either to do with his illness that he has or had, because they haven't announced it, or do you think he is just slowly moving out of the limelight because he's going to be replaced soon?
Could it be because there's a Nintendo head of America? It might be him that does it all instead.
But
maybe.
Again, Sony doesn't do that. They're a Japanese company. They're the easiest example because they're Japanese. They are they're not bigger, but obviously they're the equivalent in terms of a big game company, big enough where if they do something, Nintendo should be like, well, we should kind of be doing that too.
But Nintendo have been around for over 100 years.
Yeah, I get
so
that.
they're along the lines of, we've survived the hardest conditions ever, so we'll do whatever the fuck we want. Because the amount of things that people are like, we really, really, really want this, need this, give it to us. And they're like, it doesn't really fit in our framework, here, have this instead.
So the problem with that is, and here's the argument now, the Wii U is kind of dead in the water. Okay. The Wii U failed at the end because they just kind of opened the floodgates, and the Nintendo seal of quality just kind of got pissed on. The argument with that they used to.
The Wii U failed because there wasn't anything to differentiate it from the Wii.
They had the same stupid name. Why don't they just call it the Wii 2? They put a number on it.
You put a number on it, people would understand. But because, for the first 3 years, people that had a Wii were like, oh, it's just a new controller for the Wii with a screen on.
Exactly,
I thought it was not. But yeah, it is.
I remember once it being described as they thought it was a balance board with a screen in the middle.
I had someone that I talk to on a regular basis who plays video games. I was talking about the Wii U, and he was like, "What's a Wii U?" And I'm like,
that just shows you what Nintendo don't care.
And he's like, all PS4, Xbox One, 360, Xbox,
the big one.
But he's never ever heard of a Wii U. He's like, "What is it?"
Jesus.
Well, I saw the Wii U as more of a
fucking
handheld
joking?
console, like the PSPs and shit like that.
I've got a Wii U.
That's when they screwed up. They screwed up big time with that. I really do think they screwed up so big.
But they have been getting more games out because they've been talking to indie developers. They've pretty much got the same box now as a PlayStation 4. Indie-only game console.
That's absolute bullshit. I hate it when people do that. It's such bullshit. Just because Microsoft can't get exclusives doesn't mean that they're kind of like, oh, we couldn't get the indies that they got. Oh, let's just make fun of the indie box. Shut the fuck up.
It's not my fault that it's been out a year and a half, and how many...
Just as long as the Xbox.
Yeah, exactly, and how many like first-party games have been out?
2? Maybe more?
Like what? What 2 are you on about?
So there was, what was that stupid London game? The Order...
Order 1886.
And what was...
And
London?
how bad did that flop?
That was.
See, look, here's the argument with that. I went ahead and played it. It was really good. It was really good. But I never, and I've done it. I've been doing this more and more lately. If I'm excited about something, I don't look at anything. I don't read anything. I don't watch anything. I don't look at reviews or anything.
Yeah.
I go in fresh out of my mind, and I thought it was really good. A bit slow in places, but.
Bit slow for a 4-hour game.
Imagine a whole franchise.
How can a 4-hour game be slow?
It wasn't 4 hours. It was actually
with no replay
it was a bit
value.
longer. But I'm okay. Here's a really crap franchise called Gears of War. Okay, really shit franchise.
How was it
time?
really shit? There was 3 of them.
Franchise.
When was the last time there was a Gears of War game?
Well, a few years ago. But again, remember, the developer who's rebuilding it now. This is how arrogant Microsoft have to be. They're so arrogant. They forced Black Tusk to change their name to what's the fucking stupid Gears of War thing called? Not COG. Yeah, it's called the Coalition.
Yeah.
They forced them to change their name to the Coalition, and all they're ever going to do from here on out is Gears of War games. Come on! And everyone knows Gears of War games are really boring.
They are really boring.
But third-person shooters are fun for about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then you just like...
No.
Yeah.
Third person.
I've got to stand here behind a wall, press a button, stick my head out, shoot.
Come back in.
Shoot.
It's literally Time Crisis that you can move.
Isn't Zelda a third person game?
I said shooter.
First person, not third person.
It's
First.
a third person shooter.
First.
But Gears of War isn't the first person.
It's a third.
He said third person.
Did you say third?
Yeah.
And I said third-person shooter.
I heard third person.
I don't mind third-person games. I love third-person games. Third-person games are like my bread and butter. They're what I play.
Butter.
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 Did I say butter?
Yeah.
Butter.
Tav!
Amount of times I fucking
Have a go at someone.
have a go at people because they're like, oh, I'm going tan. I'm like, how many A's are there in town?
You've got A's falling out my pockets.
Oh, it's getting hotter.
Oh. Anyway, that's the end of the first video. We didn't really do anything there. I'm very sorry. We will see you.
We lived up to our name, that's what we did.
Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow, guys. We will podcast listeners if you just did.
Look at that.
You finished.
I was halfway through a fucking sentence. That's what the worst fucking thing is. If I had paused, fine. But I was halfway through a fucking word, in fact, when you picked it up and making noise.
But I was in the middle of the motion when you did pause. I was mid-motion of going down, and then you kept... I was like, oh, shit. Too late.
I might as well continue.
Abort.
Okay, we'll see you tomorrow, guys. Podcast listeners, you keep hanging on. We will be right back.